Hello, Miss. Our group will to present about racial discrimination, and we choose the movie's name is Head Figures.
Introduction. The theme of the movie Hidden Figures is pursuing equality and justice. This movie tells the story of the three African American women who faced racial and gender discrimination while working for NASA in the early 1960s, gaining recognition and better for these talents and fairness. In early 2017, an inspirational biographical film adaptation of racial events, Hidden Figures was the related globally. It tells the story of the 1960s when racial discrimination in the United States was still quite severe. The overcame these obstacles and engineers became important scientists and engineers, making outstanding contributions in aerospace field. This film started with three black women and vividly portrays the theme of advocating freedom and equality, opposing racial discrimination. This is the importance of the pursuing equality and justice through the story of the three these women while also calling on people not to be discriminated against and deprived of opportunities due to racial, gender, or other identity differences.
In today's American society, the hottest issue is still black discrimination. Regarding the current social status of men and women, gender and skin color make black women instinctively have a sense of crisis. But the few pays attention to equal rights between men and women, enforcing that opportunities are for those who are prepared regardless of their gender and skin color. The reason why I chose Hidden Figures, a movie with racial topics, and it was adapted from real people and events in the 1960s, is because this movie clearly revealed to the public that as early as 60 years ago, the discrimination is ubiquitous in national aeronautics and space administration where high-level intellectuals gather. The movie powerfully tells a political correctness story through the combination of time and space. Social contradictions and the contradictions between characters are displayed. It just wants to tell the masses that the reality of racism is that the pain of black women has merged into their lives, and it's not. Hidden Figures is not just a simple movie, it's also a reflection of the country's image, reflecting America's resolute resistance to discrimination and its resistance to the social mechanism of inequality between men and women. Because resistance and oppression coexist, the film reveals that even though black women suffer from hardships and live under the double discrimination of race and gender, they can still face life with a smile on their faces, with such a positive audience towards life, and the spirit of self-improvement. Spirituality as well as optimistic feelings are the concepts needed in today's society.
Okay, thank you, Yang Zhao Zhao. So my name is Peiyao. I will introduction about this movie's background. This movie had three important women. The first one is Kathleen Johnson. She calculated spacecraft orbits and re-entry angles at NASA, and she received the President's Medal in 2015 and becoming one of the first African American women to receive this honor. The next person is Dawn Sewon. She led her team in developing software to solve all the problems of computing and to advance the development of computer technology at NASA. And third person is Mary Jackson. She was the first African American female engineer at NASA. And next part I will introduction about history background. In the 1960s, racial discrimination in the American was at its peak, and black people and other ethnic minorities held protests and demonstration for equal rights and the protection of human rights. This movie is a biographical drama movie that depicts the growth, life, and the struggles of real historical figures. And this movie can helping people better understand history and the stories.
The movie Hidden Figures is themed with a strong sense of social justice and human care. This film portrays a very real and profound emotional story. The stories of three women are not shocking or emotional. They prove themselves with their abilities and receive the respect they deserve, and they deserve to be encouraged. This tale has great practical significance in today's quality, so film has also received widespread praise. Ted Tamfield, the director and screenwriter of the film, appears to have understanding of theme of racial discrimination in a humanistic way. Media generally has a high evaluation of this film, believing that it shapes the image of women in the male-dominated technology field, while also conveying the power and wisdom of black womanship.
Okay, hello everyone. So for the arguments about this movie, I divide into three parts. The first part is the medium performance. The second part is the positive impact, and the third part is the negative impact. Okay. As you know, Oscar is a cultural event for the United States, even in the whole world, and it represents the understanding of film by the mainstream American film society. It has a strong guiding role in the development of the national image and culture, and the movie we choose, Hidden Figures, is no longer a simple movie. The moment it brought it to the Oscar, it became a cultural symbol, a cultural message radiating outward. It became a reflection of the national image, reflecting the most important thing is the resolute resistance of American filmmakers to discrimination incidents and the resistance to the social mechanism of inequality between man and woman. Okay, for the second part of this movie, because influenced by the movie Hidden Figures, the United States Department posted a project called Hidden No More, which is the first public-funded exchange project inspired by a Hollywood film in history, and it invited 50 people from 50 countries, women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics from countries in Africa, European, Asia, and Latin America travel to the United States. The third part is the negative impact. This movie will make some people think of their own appearance when watching the movie and feel sad. For example, I asked some friends who said they thought of the unfair treatment they had encountered in the process of watching this movie. Movie characters can earn respect, but some common people still encounter the racism. Okay, so for the key information of this movie, I also divided into three parts, and each part have a small title of it. For the first part, the title is Equal Skin Color is not a political slogan, but the right to equal existence. The equal rights that nowadays American people enjoy, which they have become accustomed to, are not realized through the chanting of slogans, but through countless outstanding people who prove their worth and do the right thing with perseverance. And the movie is adapted from real events, and the background took place in 1962 at NASA WENLONG Research Center in Virginia, US. Through the combination of time and space, the director shows contradictions between social contradictions and direct characters. So the third part is the aerospace industry. Well, in recent years, the aerospace industry is gradually moving towards automation, which helps to reduce the frequency of daily operands and the labor costs. For example, in this movie, the main character, Catherine, was fired because the new computer, but because there is something wrong with the computer, so finally, to find out the position of this space, it needs Catherine's ability, yeah. And the development of aerospace industry depends not only on the glamorous astronauts on the surface, but also on the unknown hidden vigors behind the skins. In this movie, the astronauts have unconditional trust in Catherine. So only when the people are united can the development of the aerospace industry be achieved. Okay, the second part is the women's revolution should be self-improvement, not extreme revolution. Yeah, the pursuit of women's rights in modern European is slowly evolving into an extreme style. Many feminists has extreme idea and want to criticize all the difference between men and women in society, but they are not enough for their own construction. Slowly it has evolved into a kind of distorted thinking under extreme emotions, and even in some countries such a strange role has been produced that is, as long as a man announces a woman, the man may be thrown into prison. And in Sweden, men are not even allowed to pee standing up in public, which is very unbelievable. Yeah.
This movie's negative is the movie's portrayal of characters is somewhat rigid. A historical narrative is overly simple and does not challenge the audience's aesthetic sensitivities. And my recommendation is movie can delete some scenes to enhance the sense of reason and a more detailed description of characters and historical information.
Alright, thanks to my teammates Wu Peiyao, and let me introduce myself. My name is Shen Lujie. And next, I will give two examples of negative problems of movie. First, I will discuss the common problems of characters in the film. We can see that the three characters in the film all face discrimination positively. But in my opinion, it would have been better to choose one of the characters, Mary, who at the beginning of the film deal negatively with the issue of discrimination, and then to face it positively at the end of the film, giving a context. This enriches the rule, and I suggest deleting the scenario where Mary thinks she is already an engineer. Second, in view of the fact that historical narratives too simple and lacks nuances, I think we can start with the characters. One of the overlooked contracts in the film is the lack of exaggeration in the treatment of Catherine by white people after she has officially taken up her position. At a shot of white people in the office smiling and clapping at Catherine, climaxing with a dressy orchestral score. We chose this story because this movie released a great response when it was released. Some people recommend on the movie no crying, no accusations, no violence, no excitation, using exceptional talent to silence the doubters, using honest hard work and constant fight for her rights to win opportunities and recognitions. Opportunities and life are what you make of them. And this leads me to the next point. I recommend this film for two reasons. The first being that it reveals the problems of racial discrimination at the time. Secondly, the film reveals the gender differences that women met in the workplace. First of all, let's discuss the first point. In this movie, Catherine is a gifted mathematical who, despite this, is frequently subjected to harsh treatment and social exclusion due to the color of her skin. For instance, Catherine must use the restroom at a colored-only space. She must use dearly designed water bottles that are intended to be used by her and not by her white colleagues. She was expected to compute the figures precisely despite not having access to all of the data at work. And this kind of racial discrimination affects these black women day in and day out, constantly eroding their self-esteem. It also shows up in many phases of the workplace. The three ladies in this movie, however, do not allow this unfavorable attitude to affect them, and instead they enduring their hardships in silence and carry out their tasks as effectively as possible without quarreling or grumbling. And the second point will be discussed by my teammates Yang Zao, and that's all. Thank you.
These discriminations are oppressing these black women day by day, constantly destroying their self-esteem. But the three heroes in the film did not become negative because of this. Instead, they endured everything silently and still did their best to do their own work well, neither shrinking nor complaining. Such forbearance and bitterness will make the audience even more excited moved. The movie shows that prejudice is always there. It depends on whether we have the determination to break it. In fact, what women sometimes lack is not diligence, carefulness, or persistence, but firm determination, enduring confidence, and the courage to start. I hope that we all have the courage to take the first step, break the deadlock, and realize the value of life and the dream burning in our hearts. In addition, I hope that we can immediately perceive the change, remove the stereotypes of race and skin color, speak out for women, and let women and men have equal rights and pursuits. Whether it is the struggle against racial discrimination, gender injustice, or the unremitting pursuit of ideals, these are all worth learning and perceiving.
In conclusion, we think all the discrimination are bullying, so we cannot discrimination everyone, and we think everyone was equal. So we need be a good person, and we need say no to the discrimination. So that's all from us. Thank you.